Hello and welcome to the first ever stream here on Football Heritage. My name is Stephen, and basically, this is going to be a sports channel here where the audience is going to be able to interact with myself. We're going to do things like have live streams, a lot of discussions about sports from soccer to AFL to all kinds of different things. I'm really excited about. Um, I've been wanting to set up this channel for a number of years now. I have a very strong passion for specifically football, soccer, and yeah, I've just wanted a way to be able to interact with the audience. It's definitely been a long time coming, like I mentioned. Maybe I should tell you a little bit about myself. So, like I mentioned, my name's Stephen. I'm a big Chelsea fan. I've been a Chelsea fan for about 12 years now and been really indulged by the game and by the club. Um, and yeah, this is just going to be, I think, the perfect way to start off this channel. I think we're going to be watching the Chelsea versus Villareal game. And yeah, it should be a really great way to start off both the season and the game itself. So, let's get into things anyway. So obviously, as we all know, Chelsea fans, the game is about 5 minutes away from beginning here, and it's a really important game because I think that obviously with the Champions League success last season, there's going to be a lot of eyeballs on Chelsea, and I think that we're going to want to start this season off really strongly. And what better way to start off than obviously winning a trophy? And the Super Cup is actually, I think, something that has eluded us in the past, specifically in 2013, where Lukaku missed the crucial fifth penalty, as we all know. But with Lukaku returning to the club, it'll be interesting to see how the dynamic changes this time around. Now he's a bit more mature, and he's obviously had his success at Inter Milan. Obviously no Lukaku today though. That's probably the biggest news going around the club at the moment. So no Lukaku starting today's game. Let's go through the starting lineups actually, because that is going to be interesting. I haven't actually looked at these just yet because it is 3 a.m. here in Australia. So I'm just going to read from bottom to top here. So we have obviously Eduard Mendy in goal, Antonio Rudiger, Trevor Chalobah, and Kurt Zuma as our back three. We've got Marcus Alonso in left wing back, Kovacic, Kante, Callum Hudson-Odoi in the right wing back position, Kai Havertz, Hakim Ziyech, who's had a great pre-season, so really exciting to see him get a game, and Timo Werner. So obviously none of the late Euro stars returning really to the team, understandably, still at this point, probably still just trying to work up fitness. The likes of Jorginho, Mason Mount, these sorts of guys, Ben Chilwell, even Cesar Azpilicueta actually on the bench, was interesting. So likely our captain would probably be N'Golo Kante by the sounds of things, which is interesting. Tammy Abraham's still on the bench. Obviously, he's still with the club at the moment, despite rumours of his departure. Ruben Loftus-Cheek as well, who is another player who's had a really interesting kind of pre-season, because I think a lot of Chelsea fans might have thought he had fallen out of favour at the club, and maybe he was on his way out after. I wouldn't call it an underwhelm. Actually, yeah, I would. I would call it an underwhelming loan at Fulham. I think despite obviously, so he's played the whole season essentially, which has been something that we've been crying out for a number of years. Is just, can he withhold these back injuries, and obviously his terrible, stupid injury that he got in that friendly that the club organised just before the Europa League final against Arsenal. So he's had a hard road, but the loan to Fulham just sounded like a bad idea at the time. And to be honest, I think that I suspected that he would be heading out of the club, despite definitely not wanting him to leave the club, because I've been a big believer in Ruben for a long time. So hopefully today he can get some minutes and he can be a part of what can be a very successful season. So yeah, really, really looking forward to hopefully seeing Ruben get out on the field as well, which would be great for him. A little great moment for him. Um, yeah, I like the look of of the I like the look of the lineup at the moment. I think that probably the one thing I don't like is Marcus Alonso still playing left wing back, but until we can sort out a situation where Ben Chilwell can come back in, and obviously Emerson is played to the late point of the Euros, so he won't be probably featuring either. Let's just have a look at the subs bench. Who exactly we've got on the subs bench today, because I think that could be interesting to see. Yeah, so we've got Tammy Abraham, Kepa, Mason, Reese, Ben, Chilwell, Emerson, Thiago Silva, Pulisic. Interesting to see Pulisic not going to start as well. I think that's probably just a proof of how good Hakim Ziyech looked in pre-season, and will be interesting to see who kind of keeps the spot. And then we've got Jorginho, Christensen, Cesar Azpilicueta, and Ruben, like I mentioned. So let's get into the game, huh? So they are just about to kick off here now. And the game's kicked off. Awesome. So this is an interesting kind of makeshift back three, you'd have to say. Massive vote of confidence for Trevor Chalobah joining the back three here, because I don't think he's someone that we kind of expected to see being part of the definitely not the starting 11, but let alone the first team, I guess, this season. So hopefully he can make a mark and kind of stick around for the season. I think he's proved during pre-season that he's good enough to kind of at least fight for a place. Great little switch ball here. Marcus Alonso wins the ball and no foul given. Great. Here's N'Golo Kante. Yeah, it does look like Trevor Chalobah's playing on the right side of that back three there, and Zuma is in the middle, which is interesting. It'll allow kind of Trevor to get forward a little bit more, I think, alongside Rudiger on the left. Oh, giveaway here from Kovacic. Sometimes you've got to be careful with Kovacic because he can be caught out defensively like that. But really good working back there from Kovacic. He's just won the ball back, and Kante can bring it forward. Here's Callum here on the right-hand side. Not my preferred position for Callum. I prefer him on the left in the attack, but in the positions that we have available, that was a great ball from Rudiger. Just got cut out there by the goalkeeper. In the positions that we have available at the moment, I think that it's just good for Callum to be in the team, and for Callum to kind of get in the team in the starting 11 from week to week, I think will be really, really important for his development going forward, because we forget that he's still extremely young, Callum. He's still he's still 20 years old, I think, or 21 maybe, but that is it's so important at that stage in his career to just keep getting game time and keep starting games. And I think regardless of where he plays on the field, I think that Callum affects the game. And if he keeps getting in the team, then we'll stop hearing these nonsense rumours about him leaving the club. Let's talk about a bit about our opponents today. So Villareal, they obviously beat Manchester United on penalties to win the Europa League last season, incredibly, with the David De Gea penalty miss. That was just something unbelievable. But they did really good. Obviously, they're under Unai Emery, the former Arsenal boss, who's kind of the king of the Europa League, but couldn't win it with Arsenal. yeah, I think they're definitely a threat today because they just have a number of kind of important key players in positions that play extremely well and know their system well, and I think that they'll be extremely motivated to win another trophy. To have, I think was the club's first ever trophy um, against Manchester United. So that'll be they'll be incredibly motivated to win another one. So obviously the likes of Gerard Moreno and Pau Torres. Yeah, definitely no slouches, this Villareal team. I think it's going to be really important to keep our heads here, and to just see this through because, like I mentioned earlier, we have a habit of kind of losing these one-off kind of trophy games. Obviously, with the Club World Championship, we lost this last time rounds, and we also lost it when we won the Europa League as well. So, yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what we can do this time around. See if the team has the mentality, because at the end of the day, you need to be motivated to win these trophies because they only come around every few years, and a trophy like this, you need to actually win a European competition to enter. So it's got a lot of prestige. The ball is on here for Callum. Great ball. Oh, it just cut out before the ball could reach Kai Havertz. Great work there from Callum and Kovacic to read that run on the right wing. Just the replay here. Yeah, he was onside. He's timed it really well. Just couldn't get the ball through to Timo Werner. Great ball here through Alonso. Oh, just across the face there. Excellent work from Alonso there. Put the ball into a really dangerous area. And if Timo Werner was Lukaku, maybe, yeah, that might have been a tap in. Kai Havertz just didn't anticipate the run there. Actually, it was Kai. So Hakim Ziyech with the corner now. Whoa, great little flick trick shot up there from Timo Werner. Really smart work. Looked like Rudiger might have went down in the box there, but nothing given. So just might have been given it as good as he got. So 6 minutes in here, and Chelsea have forged kind of 2 or 3 really interesting chances. So great to see that the enthusiasm is there from the boys. Maybe just that kind of working that pre-season rust off will be is where we're at the moment. There we are. And Rudiger's got the ball. We'll probably see one of those trademark Rudiger steam forward and blasted shots at some point during this, no doubt. He's got to start his season somehow, right? So now just maintaining some possession by the looks of things. It will be interesting to see the play style that is employed by Thomas Tuchel this season. Obviously, the trusted 3 at the back is what we're going with today, and seems to be his preferred lineup for this squad. Hey, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. The Champions League win. Nobody would have seen us going to a back 3 before that, and it's worked incredibly well. We've won the league with it before with Antonio Conte. Obviously, it's a great success, and I think it does actually bring the best out of a lot of the players in this squad. But it will mean that those forward positions are really hard to come by. So hopefully it means that it brings the best out of everyone. The likes of Hakim Ziyech, Pulisic, Mount, Kai Havertz, even Callum are going to be fighting for those kind of 2 positions behind the central striker, which more often than not you'd assume will be $100 million Romelu Lukaku. So, and that's also would involve Werner there as well. So it's going to be about 6 players probably vying for 2 or 3 positions at max. So, hopefully that kind of level of competition will bring out the best in everyone. But you never know if they'll rise to it. And at Chelsea, sometimes players can decide to have a season off. So hopefully we're not facing that. Excellent interception by N'Golo Kante there. And what a shot. Oh, great work from captain N'Golo Kante there to win the ball, make space for himself. Great first touch to set himself up, and then the blasted shot just whizzes past the left-hand post there. Steals the ball so well, N'Golo Kante. That's what he does better than anyone else in the game. And then the shot isn't half bad either. It reminds me of a goal that he scored against Manchester United in, it was Conte's second season at the club, I think. So, 9 minutes into the game, and Chelsea looking extremely dangerous at the moment, like we have all pre-season, to be honest. So I'm loving seeing the players up for the fight, and that at least the initial signs after the Champions League victory mean that we still have the motivation to go out and kind of fight for these trophies. Ooh, bit of a poor giveaway there. Looks like Callum and Trevor Chalobah got mixed up a bit. And we've given away a corner. So, well, let's put our defensive strategy to the test here. Ever since Anthony Barry came into the club, we've looked a lot better from set pieces. We've got a fairly commanding set of centre-backs here tonight, so we should be able to be clearing these away. Villareal don't look like an extremely tall team. So hopefully we can kind of summon the defensive performances that we had at the back end of last season in the Champions League. Ball comes in. Ooh, the volley there. Just wide from Abadal. Ball's coming back in though. Great defensive work there from Zuma and Rudiger. Double up on their man there. Gave him no chance, no sniff. And then the clearance from Alonso. It'll be interesting to see the expectation on the team this season, because I think that a lot of people, now that we've signed Lukaku, are expecting at least a top 2 finish, and to be honest, that's kind of where I sit as well. Though I do think this is an extremely strong title race this season. I think it won't be like last season where kind of everyone fumbled up until the point where City kind of found their feet and then just ran away with it. I do think that we will have a title battle for the first time in probably 2 or 3 seasons since the Manchester City and Liverpool title races there. And I think that we can be a major part in who wins the league this season. We've got a really good blend here of youth and experience, and we've obviously just coming off the back of the Champions League victory. I think that we have to be aiming to win the league this season. I know that we're kind of fighting the monolith of Manchester City. I think they won 4 of the last 5 league titles. We're going to need to get our heads down, and we're going to need to have a really good season. But in Thomas Tuchel we trust, to be honest, because he's been incredible for this club since he came in. I was one of the people who did back Frank Lampard, obviously, but it did get to the point where kind of Frank had to go if we wanted to win something that season, and obviously the proof is in the pudding, and it was the right decision in the end because now we have 2 Champions Leagues instead of 1, and yeah, yeah, I think that Thomas Tuchel was probably the best manager that we've had in a while, probably since Conte. Um, that's not to diminish Sarri, actually, because I know there's a great Sarri, Conte, Lampard, Tuchel, probably not Tuchel, but debate within the club amongst the supporters about kind of who is the right natural fit for Chelsea. And I think that winning is the natural fit for Chelsea, honestly. So, yeah, Thomas Tuchel has slipped right into the culture of this club extremely well. Cross comes in here, and Callum is able to just kind of sweep it away. And Kante's kind of walked himself into a bit of trouble there, but he's been able to play himself out incredibly. I'm really excited to see N'Golo this season because I think that he had a bit of injury problems last season, and he was kind of in and out of the team. We saw a lot of Jorginho and Kovacic, which was obviously a great little double pivot there, but we lacked that just intensity, that insane work rate that N'Golo Kante brings to the team. And I think that we saw in the Champions League, obviously, that he was one man of the match in the last 3 games, both the semi-finals and the final. So if he can use that as a platform to come kind of raise his game to another level, what kind of player will we be seeing? Because he's already been one of the probably the best player in his position in world football for the last 7 years. And he looks like he's been everywhere already tonight. He's covering so much ground here, and with the captain's armband on, it's just a great sight to see, to be honest. He's exactly the kind of player that you want wearing the armbands. Maybe not in terms of the vocalization, but Chelsea have so many vocal leaders. So in terms of just like setting the tone and the standards of work rate and dedication and kind of teamwork, he's just the perfect player to be the cultural leader of this club. Here's Callum with the ball. So things have kind of slowed down, I guess, in terms of Chelsea tempo in the last 5 or 6 minutes. Understandable. We had quite a heavy start. Tried a few of the long switch balls here, which are getting over the defence, but seemingly the likes of Alonso and Callum haven't been able to beat their man as of yet. It'll be an interesting battle to see if they can get past their man anytime soon. Here's Callum on the wing now again. Foul given. So now we have a free kick in a fairly dangerous position. That's what happened here. Yeah, just Pedraza just stands on the back of Callum's heel there, and Callum will be taking the free kick himself, which is great to see. Oh, wait, no. Looks like Hakim Ziyech's there as well. Rudiger's always dangerous from these kind of situations. Zuma likewise. And Kai, of course, as well. Probably an underrated part of his game is how well he gets up and gets contact with the ball in his head. Taking a while to deliver this. Ball comes in from Ziyech. It's a nice ball, but it's cleared away. Oh, might be another foul given here, but here's Ziyech now. Puts the ball in. Great work. Oh, the keeper just reads it, and Timo Werner can't slip in to get an easy tap in there. That sounds like the story of his season last season. Yeah, Timo Werner is a really interesting case, I think, because obviously everyone knows what happened last season. He wasn't able to be the forward kind of 30, 25 goal a season striker that we thought we were buying, but he was able to get himself in the team consistently, and through both managers picked him regularly in the team and in the starting 11, and he played a crucial role in winning the Champions League. He scored a goal in the second leg of the semi-final against Real Madrid, and he was integral throughout. Obviously made the run that made the space for Kai's goal in the final, the Champions League final. And yeah, just throughout the season was kind of he was consistently breaking the lines, and I think that he was doing a lot for the team in terms of the hard working, in terms of that kind of being that pressure striker. I don't think we'd seen a forward like that in a while at Chelsea. And he obviously had games where he could turn it on. He was incredible in the game against Liverpool heading towards the back end of the season. He wasn't able to score in that game, but what he was able to do was consistently break their high line and kind of make the space, and he worked really well with Mount in that game. And yeah, it's interesting because he does take up a space in the team, and if he's not a reliable finisher, which he's probably proved himself not to be last season, then it's interesting to think if we can afford to have him in the team, because when you've got players like Ziyech who can score a goal, Mount who can score a goal, and Kai obviously as well, and Pulisic, like all these guys can affect the game with goals. Timo Werner seems to be the one that is left out in that degree. But he remains in the team for now, and he's kept his spot. And the German connection with Tuchel, I think, will be pivotal. And hopefully we do see an improvement this season with goals if he gets in the team. Hopefully we can see him kind of turn it around, because he did look like he was bereft of confidence towards the end of last season. Here's Werner now breaking that lines, just like we were talking about. Just drags it a little too far, and he couldn't cut it back in time. Goes out for a goal kick. Oh, loose ball here. N'Golo Kante. Oh, great ball from Kai there to find Kante, but unfortunately it was just probably the slightly wrong area to get a shot away from Kante. But, the pressure's keeping up, and looks like they're struggling to play out from the back against us. Here's Alonso. Never really back him to beat his man, do you? But he's kind of slipped and slided a bit around there now. Yeah, he's not the best player to be starting in that left wing back position. I would wager he's not the person I would choose to see there every week. And I think, to be honest, he probably was one of the players who cost us the FA Cup last season in that position. But regardless, we have a free kick here now. And here's Hakim Ziyech. Callum Hudson-Odoi will take this free kick by looks. Here's Shalba. Ooh, just gets underneath the ball there. But looks like it'll be a corner. Callum to take the corner. It's great to see actual fans back in the stadium as well. Poor corner from Callum there, just hits the first man really low. That's something he's got to get really consistent at if he wants to be the man who, wants to be a part of these set pieces. He's got to get that delivery in every time, right on the money, like Mason Mount. Attack Kovacic, great ball again. He's been picking 2 or 3 of those balls out in this game. Here's Callum. Just slips a little bit, but finds Ziyech. And Ziyech just overruns it, unfortunately. It's a bit disappointing there. Just a heavy touch from Ziyech. Should probably do better. But we have a corner. Deep ball swinging in. It's just over Werner's head, over the last man. Our set pieces haven't been great today so far. We've had a couple chances now. Tuchel looks like he's a bit frustrated. Rightly so. I think that getting those deliveries right on the money is what we need. But it may take a few games to kind of get the set pieces where they need to be. 222 passes completed by Chelsea compared to Villareal's 44 at the moment. So complete and total possession domination. Unsurprising for this team. Oh, there's a giveaway from the goalkeeper. Chelsea have possession again. Yeah, you just can't be squandering possession like that if you're Villareal against the Chelsea side, because they've worked with managers like Sarri, who really hardened this squad into playing possession football like we hadn't really done before, and they've just solidified it. And we've got some really good... Oh, here's Ziyech. Yes! Here's the first goal for Chelsea. Hakim Ziyech scores. It was a great cross in. Just really low. It missed Werner, and it went straight to Hakim Ziyech at the back post. And he's so good at those first-time finishes. He just hits it, just like he did against Manchester City, just like he did against Atletico Madrid as well. Excellent finish there. And it was Kai Havertz, of course, with the quality ball in. So we have the lead in the Super Cup final, and it's awesome to see Hakim Ziyech score that goal, because, like I said, his position in the team was questioned. Let's just have a look at this replay here. Great cutback there from Kai. Excellent, just complete quality there. Used Werner as the decoy run, and Hakim Ziyech just knew where the ball was going to be, and just kind of makes solid connection into the ground, and the ball goes over the goalkeeper. Yep, Tommy Tuchel's happy, and I'm extremely happy as well. That's great. Oh, yeah. Unai Emery is furious with his team, and I think he should be with the start that they've had here, because Chelsea have been completely all over them, to be honest. And now Villareal are going to come at Chelsea with everything they've got, and they've got a chance straight away. Good work there to cut out the chance. It falls to Capu. And blasted wide. Probably some frustration there from Alberto Moreno, just not being able to get forward this entire game. Well, that's excellent, because that does take the pressure off a little bit because now Villareal are going to have to come out. They can't just defend, like was probably the game plan. They're going to need to come out and score a goal, which is going to open space for us even more. And here again, we've broken possession here. We're looking great. And here is Kovacic, who's found Kai. And yeah, we've kind of drawn ourselves a little wide and wasted the opportunity a little bit there. But it's alright, we'll just control possession again and we'll break them down. It's been a little to the detriment of Chelsea, their lack of ability to score a goal early in a game, and sometimes they're just not able to get that first goal. So this is exciting, and probably actually, to be honest, if I think about it, the hardest thing for Chelsea has been getting that second goal usually, because then we just keep teams in the game. So it'd be nice to see the team kind of keep themselves motivated, go out there, get that second goal, and really just kill the game. Here playing replay again of the goal. So quality from Kai to cut that ball back right in the position, and then Ziyech just been deadly like he has been all pre-season. Probably locked himself a spot in there for the opening game against Crystal Palace as well, I'd say. Here's a chance for Villareal if they can get past Trevor Chalobah. Oh, excellent cut back there. And Mendy saves the deflected shot. Probably the first work that Mendy's had to do all game, to be honest. Someone who hasn't had a great preseason so far. Made a couple mistakes, but he was so integral, wasn't he, in that back part of the season. And then the Champions League victory. Really excited to see him this season develop even further. Obviously, he was probably one of the shock signings of the season last year. So half an hour gone. Chelsea lead 1-0. What will Unai Emery have up his sleeve now? Be interesting to see if he changes things, because his side has lacked any kind of possession in this first half. Yeah, it's been completely one-sided. They're saying that they are having a decent spell now, but it has been this playing out from the back that's caught them in trouble a few times. They've a few loose passes and Chelsea have been able to cut it out. Nice play there. Villareal have made some space for themselves here on the right wing, and Alonso's caught in two minds. Great save there from Mendy. Wow, that was looking like it could have been a goal. Puts the ball across, and Trevor Chalobah makes a great interception there as well. Okay, so now they are coming at us a bit, but we get a lucky break here with a throw-in. But yeah, looking at this replay here, Alonso gets drawn in, but he doesn't see the runner on the left-hand side. Chalobah loses his man a little bit as well there. And then Edouard Mendy just gets low, nice and fast to make that save. Great to see the reflexes are still there, even after a first half an hour where he's been not involved as much. Should we talk about Romelu Lukaku? I think maybe we should. Oh, I haven't changed the Chelsea score. There we go. 1-0. Yeah, let's talk about Romelu Lukaku. So, personally, he wasn't the striker I wanted to see come into the club this season. I think that Haaland would have been the all-round better choice if it was possible. Though from some reports, it seems like he just absolutely wasn't for sale unless Chelsea put in an offer of like 175, $200 million euro. Well, it was probably never what's going to happen, was it? It was never likely. But it does make you think why we spent so long. Ooh, chance there, Alonso almost scored. It does make you wonder why we spent so long kind of pursuing it if that was the official word out of Dortmund the entire summer. And we believed we could get the price down to something that was manageable for us, but in the end wasn't able to. And I think we spent a lot of time probably wasted this transfer window because we haven't brought in anyone apart from Bettinelli in as a third choice backup goalkeeper. And we're heading into the season now with Lukaku not even secured yet. It'll probably be in the next few days. Because there's still key positions here that we should try and figure out, and I think there's still players to shift probably before that as well. But yeah, Lukaku, I think he's going to be an excellent addition to this team. I think that he is the second choice in my mind, but what a second choice to have, because I do think that the age factor with Haaland would have been better, but with Lukaku, what we're going to get is a Premier League proven striker. Someone who has improved his game massively since he went up to Serie A and has looked immense for the last 2 seasons out there. Scored a lot of goals. Was the MVP of the season when Inter won the league last season with Antonio Conte. And I think that he's going to be able to bring to this team just that pure goal-scoring force that we have lacked probably since Diego Costa left. Ooh, chance there for Zuma, but he couldn't keep the shot down. Funny to see Alberto Moreno playing against us again. I remember when Eden Hazard scored that absolute wonder goal, leaving him in no man's land. And I think it was the Carabao Cup. Obviously, Champions League and Europa League winner now, Alberto Moreno, unbelievably. Probably up there with Alonso in terms of one of the weaker players to win both of those trophies. But if you're he was a bit part player at Liverpool, and he's been good for Villareal in what I've seen of him. Just a foul in the middle of the park. Coach is just complaining about it. Yeah, it's been a good first half. I think it's had the intensity that I was kind of hoping for. That we mentioned before the game. But, what kind of intensity are we going to bring to this game? What can we hope for as Chelsea fans? I think we've seen it so far. I think the team's been really organised. We've created chances. In saying that, Marcus Alonso's just given away a corner. Yeah, but we've been generally tight. Specifically because I don't think this is the back five that we'll be seeing for a majority of the season. Looks like Zimmer might be on the way out, and I'd suspect Chalobah to be probably the last choice centre back out of our options. But we'll see. The likes of Thiago Silva and Cesar Azpilicueta aren't going to be able to play the entirety of the season. We obviously know that Thiago Silva's coming up to something like 36, 37 years old this season. So we know that he's going to need a rest. Azpilicueta is a warrior. He'll play whenever he's needed. And he was immense in those last few Champions League games as well. So I'll be happy to see him out whenever he runs out. He has a great kind of tandem partnership there with Reece James on that right-hand side. Looks like, is it Hakim Ziyech is down with an injury here to his shoulder. Well, that'd be just right. Player who's looked really good all pre-season. He got an injury. He got an injury in his first game for Chelsea in the pre-season last season as well. It really kind of derailed the season that was to come there. So hopefully that's not as bad as it might look there. Looks like we could be looking at like a dislocated shoulder. He's reached for it straight away. You can see here on the replay, and then he's gone down. He's still down here. You don't like to see that. That's troubling. Tuchel's shaking his head. He knows. He's had such a great pre-season. Looks like Christian Pulisic is warming up. It should be great to see Pulisic out there, even under these unfortunate circumstances. You get a feel for Ziyech. Yeah, this sucks. Yeah, they've got the pain whistle out, which does probably signify to me that it's a dislocated shoulder. That could be a few weeks. It could be a few weeks out. He's probably going to miss the start of the season now. Really, really unfortunate there, Hakim Ziyech. It just looked super innocuous. It didn't look like it was anything at all. But his contribution has been the contribution of the game so far. The goal that gives us the lead. So even if he has to come off here, he has had a great effect on this game. He is a player in this squad that can score goals and can affect games. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what he brings this season, because a lot of people ruled him out. I'm actually going to have to stretcher him off by the looks of this as well. This isn't good. So we'll get some extra time at the end of this half. Well, great to see this. He's not being actually stretched off. He's able to walk this off, which is great. But his arm is in kind of some sort of, not a sling, but a carrier that's kind of taking the weight off his shoulder, perhaps. Let's see what Chelsea Twitter has to say. Yeah, people just concurring with me that they think that it does look like a dislocated shoulder. Really upsetting. Really upsetting. Interesting season ahead for Christian Pulisic, I'll have to say, because his first season at the club, he played extremely well under Frank Lampard, and he was kind of one of the catalysts of the second half of that season. Scored a lot of goals, kind of brought us to the FA Cup final. Scored a really good goal in the FA Cup final that year, despite the loss. And yeah, he was probably he looked like he was going to be one of Chelsea's talisman. And then I guess the second season didn't start out really well for Pulisic. I think he was still carrying that hamstring injury, wasn't he, that he got in that FA Cup final. So kind of delayed the start to the season that he had. But then yeah, even under Tuchel, he was sort of a bench player at best, really. Started and scored in the semi-final of the Champions League, obviously, away to Real Madrid. But I do think this is probably a crucial season for Pulisic because he will... Sorry, just laughing there. Rudiger getting a yellow card for talking back to the ref, it sounds like. Yeah, important season for Pulisic. I think that, like I said, for any of these attackers, it's going to be really hard to get into the starting 11. I think when you get your chance, you really need to be taking it. Ziyech's taking his chance today. And, we'll see if Pulisic can have a similar effect on the game. Because he is a goal scorer. He is a guy that can get goals. He can assist. He's quite a dynamic player. You see how he plays for the US as kind of that talisman up front. And he can be a special player. And he can lead this team forward. I guess it just remains to be seen how he does in that kind of those two attacking positions behind the striker. I think he will actually link up really well with Romelu Lukaku. I think that could be an unforeseen link up. Oh, Thomas Tuchel's got a yellow card now as well. He looks like he's talked back to the ref as well. Wow. So we head into 3 minutes of stoppage time. That seems not too much. I thought that we might have a bit more, to be honest. When we are starting this extra time off with a free kick here for Villareal, right on the edge of the box. Alberto Moreno stands above the ball. Pau Torres waits in the middle. Same with Emmanuel Capoue. Moreno steps over the ball, delivered in, headed out by Kovacic. It was a poor ball, to be honest. Yeah, halftime's probably coming at a good time for us now. I think that the intensity's dropped off a little bit. Since the goal, Villareal have definitely come out and played a lot better in the last 20 minutes compared to the opening 20 minutes where it was all Chelsea. Probably just a good chance to regroup. Maybe give some instruction here for Pulisic to get on the ball, make things happen. Be interesting to see if we make any changes at halftime. Don't know. It's probably just the regular 3 substitutions in this competition, is it? Don't play in it enough to remember, to be honest. If so, probably unlikely we'll see any changes. But yeah, great first half so far, I think. Like a really great opening 20-25 minutes. Died off a little bit after the goal, but probably to be expected a little bit. Be great for Thomas just to kind of give them back that intensity to start the second half. And I guess a successful first half of a stream for myself as well on this channel. If anyone is listening this deep into the video, there's some great stuff to come here on this channel. Really looking forward to doing my season preview tomorrow. So I'll be doing another stream, going through the season, going through each Premier League club and kind of talking about where they stand going into this season and where I'm predicting them to finish. We'll kind of talk about their transfer business as well, because I think there's been a lot of interesting transfer business in the Premier League. Specifically teams like Crystal Palace and even Leicester as well made some great signings. So it's definitely going to be competitive. There's a lot of ongoing sagas as well still. The likes of Harry Kane, what will happen with him? Lautaro Martinez as well. Oh, wow. Villareal hit the crossbar there. And it didn't look like it was over the bar. And it was Alberto Moreno, who I was making fun of earlier. There you go. Wow. So the ball must not across the line there. Hit off the underside. So the ball comes in, volley here on the left-hand side, and it comes off the underside of the crossbar. It doesn't cross the line there. You can see in the replay. But wow, what a chance for them just in the last second of the half there. That would have been a really probably undeserved, dare I say. They will fight back. Chelsea get lucky there for sure. So, but you know, thinking from Thomas Tuchel's perspective, that's probably the perfect thing to happen now. Heading to halftime, it is halftime now. He can use that as kind of motivation. Say, hey, look what can happen in the blink of an eye. Don't switch off. We've got to go get that second goal, kill the game, and raise our level to the level of performance that we saw in the first half. So, going into halftime now. So we've had some viewers so far, which is great to see. Thanks to anyone who's tuned in, even for as a little time. So look at Chelsea Twitter again, shall we? Yeah, a lot of people saying that, yeah, Hakim Ziyech looked really immense in that first half, which agreed from my perspective as well. Really disappointing injury. It's probably the story of the first half, despite his goal as well. Because of the really good pre-season that he's had. A lot of people saying that Rudiger's lucky, maybe not to be sent off for that challenge just before half-time, which is probably correct as well. It looked a bit clumsy, didn't it? He kind of slid in with his foot raised. If he had made contact, you'd probably think that he would be given his marching orders there. Yeah, a lot of people saying that we really needed that halftime call, which I probably agree with. That's what I was saying just before. We kind of needed to regroup and get everything ready and just kind of calm ourselves down maybe because, yeah, we just weren't looking that good, were we, to be honest, in the last 10-15 minutes there. Oh, what's Stan Sport done to me here? They're playing a replay of the Iniesta Champions League semi-final goal at Stamford Bridge in 2009. I didn't need to see that this early. Didn't need to see the heartbreak. This scandalous refereeing performance. stream's reached an hour in length now. Yeah, I guess then this is probably a good point at halftime to talk about the channel itself and what I kind of hope for it and what I want it to be. So, like I mentioned, my name's Stephen. I am a 25-year-old Australian sports fan. Go the Melbourne D's in the AFL, and big Chelsea fan as well. Got my boys there, lifting the trophy twice. Yeah, what can I say about myself? I'm a master's film student. I have been interested in sport since an extremely young age. Got interested in football at around just before kind of the 2010 World Cup, and was drawn to Chelsea. And ever since, I've kind of just taken the time to educate myself about the game and about the club, and just fell in love with every single aspect of football. I think that it was something that it was just an interesting culture, because in Australia we don't really have kind of the same culture that Europe has towards football. We have obviously AFL, our national sport, which is a great sport as well, and anyone that is interested in kind of maybe taking up a second sport and interest would definitely recommend it to them, because it's a crazy sport, and I'll be doing probably some streams and conversations about that as well on this channel. But yeah, my love for football just kind of festered and grew and grew and grew to this kind of unbelievable level. I played a bit at a reasonable level, and yeah, it was. I just fell in love with the game, and now I think I have the knowledge to talk about it, I guess, for hours on end on streams with you guys, and yeah, I really like the football YouTube scene at the moment, because I think that there's a lot of really great content creators out there, and I hope to one day staple my name to that list as well. There's a long way to go, but yeah, everyone's got to start somewhere. And yeah, I'm a guy who likes tactical breakdowns, who likes looking at sort of statistics and breaking them down, kind of finding out what they mean. But at the same time, I also am definitely an eye test guy as well. I think that the best you can tell of a player is from what you can see with your own eyes, and the underlying stats usually will back up what your eyes tell you as well. Most of the time, you'll find, if you've been watching enough football, which I don't think I've missed a Chelsea game in maybe 5 years. So yeah, I've watched a lot of football. I know there's going to be Chelsea fans out there who probably have even more years of experience than me as well, but I have dedicated the last probably 8 years out of my Chelsea life to just completely learning everything about the club and about the game, and I could have an interest, I think, one day in potentially doing some coaching work as well. So I definitely have that kind of tactical awareness and knowledge, and I've been improving that side of my game for a long time. And luckily enough, at Chelsea we've had some extremely tactically astute managers, so it's forced kind of, I bet, a lot of us to learn a lot about the modern game. We're in an era where we have the Guardiolas, the Klopps, the Sarris, just a lot of great managers in abundance, and we've also been through the Ancelotti era, the Zidane era, the Conte as well. There's a lot of different styles out there, and I think that where the game is about as tactically diverse as it's ever been. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot to talk about this season, I think, because we're gonna be thrust into. It's gonna be interesting to see what the dominating tactic will be this season, because when Chelsea last went to a back three, it kind of swept the Premier League by storm. I think that Tuchel's probably shown that it might be the way forward for actually stopping a Guardiola side. So we'll see we'll see if teams kind of take that learning objective, I guess, from Chelsea and kind of apply it like they did last time we went to a back three, or if the kind of possession football will prevail as well. We've seen a lot of teams try and emulate what Manchester City did, consistently playing out from the back to a great extent for them, but to some other clubs, not a great extent. Chelsea are good playing out from the back side as well, which is always confident. I always feel confident when our defenders have the ball at their feet. I feel like they usually don't make mistakes. It's a pretty rare sight. Unlike probably Arsenal fans who probably have a bit of PTSD from what they saw in the last few seasons playing out from the back. Arteta seems to be really stuck to this idea of playing out from the back for them, which you can see for the style of play that he's trying to develop. And he's brought in Ben White as well to the club, a player who is notoriously really good playing out from the back from Brighton last season, and Leeds in the Championship the season before. So he's going to be a tactically interesting play for them. Might be able to change the way that they play out from the back, because last season when it was the likes of just Gabriel and David Luiz and those likes, it wasn't as pretty at times. A lot of mistakes made. But this isn't an Arsenal stream. This is a Chelsea stream. So we should probably talk about maybe what our plans are for the rest of the transfer window. Fabrizio Romano mentioned that we have been looking at Jules Koundé from Sevilla. Excellent player. People talk a lot about his short stature, but the guy is just an absolute workaholic. He's really great with the ball at his feet. I think he'd be an awesome addition to this team. Probably the long-term successor to like the right centre-back role under Cesar Azpilicueta. Kind of has a similar profile to Azpilicueta as well. If he can work on his kind of one-on-one defending to reach anywhere near the level of what Cesar Azpilicueta has achieved in his career, we'll have a really good player. But that deal is not through yet, and still remains to be seen whether or not we can shift a defender to bring him in. The other few names sort of we looked at, Aurelien Tchouameni as well from Monaco. Looks like agent Cesc Fabregas is doing some work for us over there in Monaco. And obviously Declan Rice, as ex-West Ham United has been reporting, is one of the main targets for Chelsea. But that price tag does look a bit expensive for us, specifically since we're looking at splashing $100 million euros on Romelu Lukaku. Yeah, interesting debate between Tchouameni and Rice, I guess, because you're going to have two Chelsea camps on football Twitter at least with these two players, because you've got Rice, who's kind of the hardened, young England international who's made a real great impression on the league in the last few seasons. I know a lot of people seem to think for some reason that he's either slow or doesn't have a good touch or these sort of things. He's not a quote-unquote kind of like technical footballer. But personally, I really enjoyed watching Rice play over the last few seasons, and I think that he's matured into a really good player. He's got those leadership qualities. I think that potentially he would be a really good pivot with N'Golo Kante, but at the same time, when you've got the likes of Jorginho and Kovacic, you can't be having both those guys sit out week after week. So I do think that more than likely, probably Tchouameni would be the more likely option of the two. And that's probably because Tchouameni can afford to kind of, I guess, work his way into the team, whereas Rice, you suspect if we're going to splash like near on 50-60 million euros on him, he's going to be straight into that first team. Whereas Tchouameni, I think he was in the team of the season last year in Ligue 1, and he looked like a really great technical footballer. Probably definitely looks a lot better than when we bought Timo Bakayoko from the same club, so hopefully it won't be repeated that if we do end up going for him. But yeah, the thing with Tchouaméni is the technical ability is never in question. He's got long range passing, he's got short, quick range passing. He's really good in possession, slick. He's got a creative mind as well. Likes to play through the middle, but can also play out wide as well. Yeah, he looks like an ideal player to kind of take up that role. Eventually, from the likes of Jorginho and Kovacic, he's got a bit more of like a defensive attitude in his game as well than those two players, perhaps. So, as a long-term successor, could be a really interesting player. But remains to be seen if we will make a move for him. Just on that position, it's really interesting because, like I mentioned, with Jorginho, Kovacic, and Kante, you've got three players there that are essentially deserve to be starters in this team. So you've already kind of got one player sitting out. So it is interesting if you do bring in another midfielder. And by all reports, it seems like Thomas Tuchel does want another midfielder. How does he balance that? I guess who misses out, or maybe someone leaves the club, but it doesn't sound like there's any rumours of any of those players leaving the club at the moment. But looks like we're almost ready to get. Yep, we are underway here for the second half. Switch ball there from Zuma to start off, and here's Kai in some space. Able to run forward. He takes a shot. Ooh, side netting there. That's really, really good. Good initiative there from Kai to kind of get the shot away, because he saw the space and he just ran straight into it, which is what you like to see from Kai. Kai's due for a big season, I think. He's arguably as Joe Cole said today, a Chelsea legend already. I mean, I know he's so young and there's still so much to come, but like, you kind of do have to call him a Chelsea legend. I mean, what is more legendary than scoring the only goal in a Champions League final for the club? It's it's unbelievable what the finish that he managed to have last season. But there's still a lot more to come. Like we've said, I think that we saw the potential in the back half of last season of what this guy can be when he plays forward, and when he can affect the scoreboard. He's got all the potential in the world. I think that when we signed him, there was this expectation that he would come in and play really well straight off the bat, and there was a bit of a question mark around what his position was going to be. Was he an 8? Was he a forward? I think that we've seen that he is a forward. Maybe later in his career or long term, he'll end up dropping back into midfield in that kind of 8 position. But no, I want to see him forward this season. I think that he's one of our most technically gifted players, if not the most technically gifted player, despite his height as well. He's just an excellent player because he's got that great build. He's fast. He's incredibly smart, and now he's got that Premier League experience, and he's won something with the club and played a massive part in winning that trophy. I think that the sky is really the limit for him. I think we could have a potential Ballon d'Or winner in Kai Havertz if he can get his head down and put himself to work. Because we've had the likes of Eden Hazard at this club, and Eden Hazard is the best footballer I've ever seen play. He just for Chelsea. I mean, obviously Lionel Messi takes up that role, But yeah, we had Eden Hazard at the club, and there were at points at times in his career at Chelsea where I thought that he was Ballon d'Or worthy, and didn't get maybe the recognition because of the likes of the goal scoring prowess of like a Messi or a Ronaldo or a Lewandowski later, even a Ribery at times. But yeah, I think that it's a bit sad because I probably do think that Eden Hazard could have reached those heights if maybe he had had the attitude for regimented training. By all accounts, it sounds like he wasn't the most dedicated trainer, and we've probably seen that to be a little bit of a detriment as well at a club like Real Madrid, where the fans expect that kind of day in, day out. Maybe at Chelsea, because he was the star man, he was able to get away with doing the bare minimum and training and kind of living on the edge ever so slightly in terms of just how he played. And there's an argument that he needed that freedom to be the player that he was for Chelsea, and if so, then that's the way it is. But with the likes of a Kai Havertz, I think that if he can really get his head down, kind of train consistently, and have almost like a Frank Lampard or John Terry attitude towards training, I think that this guy could become something even unforeseen on an Eden Hazard level. So yeah, that's how highly I rate this kid. Oh, Mendy slipped over there and given the ball away from the goal kick. It's a one-on-one chance now. Can he redeem himself? Oh, they've hit the post. Wow. Well, we got lucky there. Moreno, can't believe his luck there, Gerard Moreno. It was an absolute gift there from Mendy. He's completely slipped over with the kick out there, and kind of affirming what I said, that he hasn't had the best pre-season. His kicking was quite good last season. I don't think that's something we should be worried about in general, but there has been shaky moments. Interesting to see if Kepa at any point will displace him, or if Kepa's Chelsea career is over in general until we can find a buyer for him. It's time to calm things down now. It's been a bit of a lackluster start for Chelsea here to the second half. Oh, great interception from Kante there again. He's done that 2 or 3 times already in this game, and he just looks back to his best. Probably a blessing in disguise here for Chelsea fans that France went out fairly early in the Euros. It's allowed Kante to have a bit of a rest and come back into pre-season not exhausted for the first time ever. And there is that trademark Rudiger shot that I told you was going to come at some point. Does it once a game. He has been known to score crazy goals. I remember one against Manchester United. And it looks like it was a fingertip save there from Mendy onto the post, so redeemed himself well after that disastrous slip. He's in possession again now, Mendy. They've attacked down the side, and Chalobah's done well to draw his man out wide. He can only force a cross. Though he did lose the ball there, Chalobah. Poor touch there from Callum. That was blasted at him. And Kante's won the ball back again. And now Chelsea are on the counter. So lethal in that role of just winning the ball back and just setting us on our way straight away, Kante. It's unreal. No other player in world football like him. Cross comes in there. Excellent last-ditch interception there from Trevor Chalobah was. To cut out the ball here. And Villareal are looking a lot more lively now. I think Chelsea need to switch on a bit. Since the Ziyech injury, we have not looked good at all. Big corner for Villareal. Headed out by Kante. Of all people. And Kante, he's got the ball again. He's just everywhere at the moment. Pulisic let the ball run through there. Bit poor. Like I was saying, Pulisic does need to take his chances. Because, like every attacker in the side, you're only going to get a few this season. And if you're not up to the standard, then you're not going to start the next game. That's something that Pulisic did struggle with last season. Was that when he did get in the side, he didn't perform. Then when he was on the bench, he performed quite well, and he was able to change the game and affect the game, which they made Tuchel give him starts, and then he didn't perform in those starts. So I think eventually by the end of the season, he was relegated to just kind of the bench player. Estupidin is coming on for Pedraza and a change for Villareal. Giveaway there from Kante, uncharacteristically. And a great effort there from Kai Havertz to kind of track his man there back. But Villareal still remain in possession. Just coming up to the hour mark. Great tackle there from Chalobah again. He hasn't looked out of place at all in this team, has he? So that's an encouraging sign for him. And for Tuchel, I guess, because if he can look and he can see that these academy players with a bit of experience out on loan can slip into his team and can have an effect on the side, I think that's only going to bode well for the likes of Gallagher and Gurhey and Livramento if they are looking to come back to the club at some point. And Armando Broja as well, who's just gone out on loan to Southampton, which should be interesting. Because we've seen at Chelsea that striker position is the hardest one to hold down for an academy player. Abraham obviously was able to score a lot of goals in the last couple of seasons, but has not been able to hold down the position in general. So yeah, wishing Armando Broja the best of luck there at Southampton. Be exciting to see him play with Livramento as well, and hopefully they can connect for some goals. And the likes of Gallagher and Gurhey, like I mentioned as well, at Crystal Palace. Be interesting to see how Vieira is going to play. I'm really excited about that team, actually, and excited that we're playing them first week of the season, because I think that once they have a few games under the belt, they actually will probably come alive. Might be a good time to get them that first game just before it kind of clicks, specifically with Joachim Andersen and Mark Gerhi in the centre-back roles. Two quite young defenders, but two excellent defenders. Might not have that chemistry as of yet. Maybe we can exploit that. It is telling, though, that Mark Gerhi's first Premier League game will be against Chelsea, when a lot of Chelsea fans specifically thought that he might be able to sneak into that kind of backup centre-back role at the club this season. But like I mentioned, I don't think there's a buyback clause with Gerhi, but there is a first option, meaning that we have the first option to buy should we come back in. And I think that sounds fairly likely at some point. But we'll wait and see. I didn't want to see Gerhi go, but what I will say about the club's strategy is that it is essentially the same as a loan, this move out, except Gerhi can feel a bit more secure. Palace can feel like they have something guaranteed from this as well, a financial benefit to taking the risk on him. Though, with Mark Gerhi, it's not really that much of a risk. He'll probably make his England debut before the season's over. Here's Callum here. It was great pace there. That's what you want to see from Callum. He's got that lethal pace. And we haven't really seen that since the Achilles injury, but there's been a lot of talk inside Chelsea that Callum's pace has returned this pre-season. And there was a great example of it just there. Villareal on the attack again. They've got the ball out wide and it's going. It's good from Rudiger there. Yeah, there's two players getting instructions here from the bench. We've got Jorginho and Kepa. So, I'm not sure if there's an issue there for Mendy or if that's just purely a change for pre-season minutes, perhaps, for Kepa. Get his confidence up. Play part of a trophy win. Fingers crossed. Don't jinx that. Interesting to see Jorginho come on. I think he'll just give us that control in midfield again. Kovacic hasn't really affected the game in the second half as much in terms of just kind of slowing the pace down and giving us control. Pulisic going down here. Looks like we might get a free kick. Callum Hudson-Odoi and Marcus Alonso standing behind the ball here. Alonso sends it in. Oh, the ball comes, no. Zuma got his head on it, but it was off target. And, no Kepa, but it will be Jorginho, Mason Mount, and Andreas Christensen coming on in a triple change here. I think this is probably what the game needed, to be honest. I think that the pre-season minutes have probably weared on a few of these players. N'Golo Kante is coming off. That is interesting. Personally thought he was having an excellent game. Maybe Tuchel has seen the Ziyech injury and said, I'm going to get my best player off right now. So he comes on for Jorginho, who takes the armband. Great to see, because he's a great leader within this club. So interesting to see how these substitutes can have an effect on the game. Great to see Mason Mount out there for the first time in pre-season. Hoping to get his fitness back before the Crystal Palace game, I'm assuming. I know that supposedly they had an in-house friendly where him and the other England players participated. Because I guess they've only really just finished the Euros about 3 weeks ago, so it's been a wild few weeks for them. Another chance here for Villareal. Mandy does well to block. Maybe a corner, deflected off Jorginho. Really going to take back control of this game. If you can feel it slipping a little bit. And if Villareal get a goal, that would change everything. Good block there from Christensen because, again, the pressure was mounting. Yeah, Jorginho's on the ball now. Need to just maintain possession. Here we've come away with it a little bit here. Here's Kai, just hold it up. Unfortunately, he gets swarmed by 3 Villareal players. The pressure here is really high at the moment. Maintaining position a lot better than they did in the first half here for the Real. And to be honest, they've probably been the better team in the second half. Chalobah again, making a great interception. He's been really astute. Looks like there's 2 more substitutions here for Villareal. So they are going to come at us with everything they've got. Etienne Capoue comes off. Mario Gaspar comes on. And Trigueros comes off for Moy Gomez. It's an interesting tactic there from Unai Emery, because you'd say that Trigueros and Capoue are probably his more traditional midfielders in terms of possession football, at least. And they have kind of taken hold of the second half a little bit. So maybe he just wants some fresh legs in there. Will that affect their domination of the game? We'll have to see. Chelsea needs to get Jorginho on the ball a bit now, I think. Get things moving. Here he is. He's chopped deep to get the ball himself. Great. He's just made some space there. on the left-hand side for Callum Hudson-Odoi. And now we have possession. See, that's what Jorginho does really well, that some people don't always recognise. Great ball here through to Alonso, who tries the crossfield pass to Kai Havertz, but it wasn't quite on yet. And anyway, what I was saying about Jorginho is that he drops deep into the play. He's very mobile in terms of when he's looking for the ball. He will move to these kind of positions. He'll help out his teammates, take the ball in really trying circumstances, and then just find the pass. So whatever he lacks defensively, I think that sometimes he really makes up for in just that willingness to help out his teammates when in possession. Coming into the 72nd minute here, Villareal have the ball again. But it's a nice little cutout there. Jorginho, tried playing the ball backwards there, Jorginho. He's got caught out a little bit. We can't seem to break this pressure at the moment. There's another attempt at clearance from a Zuma, but it goes straight to... What a goal from Gerard Moreno. There's a little back heel in there. It's really frustrating, but you have to admit it's been coming. God damn it. You know. Let's have a look at this, because this is really well worked, I think, from Villareal. Zuma tries to clear, the ball just comes straight back in, and the back heel is excellent. It just completely takes the Chelsea defenders out of the game. Back heel there, and nobody's following Moreno, and it's just an excellent finish into the top corner there. First time he's running onto it, couldn't be picked out better. The finish. And it's what Chelsea deserve in the second half, because the intensity has completely fallen off. And to be honest, it's it's been coming in the second half. We were excellent in the first half, but the second half has been a shocker. So now they've got to pull up their shorts, and let's go again. There's 27 minutes left in the game. 17 minutes left in the game. We have the players on the pitch to make the difference, but they need to be playing a lot better, and they need to be maintaining possession a lot better, because we were just succumbing to that pressure time and time again here in the second half. Disappointing display from our attackers tonight, I think. Hakim Ziyech looked the best of them, and he's come off injured after scoring his goal. But Pulisic hasn't been able to affect the game at all. Timo Werner's made some nice runs, but as usual, has been ineffective at actually getting on the scoreboard. Kai Havertz has looked good. He's looked silky at times. The really good assist for the goal, but maybe a tad isolated as well. He's had to drop deep to collect the ball sometimes. He hasn't been found from the midfielders. Yeah, this is a quite disjointed second half performance, a bit lethargic. It does look like a bit of a pre-season game at the moment. Starting to maintain possession again now. It's disappointing that it took that goal for the Chelsea players to now kind of wake up and hold possession again, because they just didn't look. They look like they completely lacked the confidence to kind of string together a succession of passes just before. Here, have the possession out wide. Cross coming in. Good from out there. You know, he's forced a chance. It's fallen to the keeper, but it's a good attempt. Spur some life into this team again. to give away from the Villareal defence. It's a bit of a gift here. Need to make the most of this. Here's Pulisic turning, doing well, or falls here to Callum Hudson-Odoi. And well cleared by the Villareal defenders. Yeah, Mason Mount has dropped deep there and swings the ball out. Shalva, and now Hudson-Odoi is on the ball again. Here's Havertz. Great little chop inside. What a fake. Tried to force a corner but couldn't quite get there. The Villareal defenders ended up getting the numbers back. Yeah, you see those little moments of silk from Havertz and you dare to imagine what's to come when he kind of puts it together for a full season eventually. And just gives away a free kick there when stretching for the ball. So about 12 minutes to go in regular time. Are we going to be forced to extra time? Seeing a replay there of the goal. From Chelsea point of view, you can't really complain because it's definitely been coming in the second half. A great finish by Moreno, who surely got some kind of legendary status here if they win this game at their club. Having scored also in the Europa League final against Manchester United. Good work from Jorginho there to pivot on the ball. And now we come forward. Here's Rudiger bursting past the defender. Alonso cuts back. Really weak from Alonso there. He does this constantly where he beats his man and then he tries to cut back again, and it's just play the ball in. We've got 3 players in the box there. Give them a chance. Cutting back doesn't do anything for anyone. There's no late runners coming in a double pivot system. You're not going to have Jorginho and Kovacic running to the edge of the box to take a shot. Nice work there from Callum. Here's Mount trying to forge something. He's got a corner. It was actually Pulisic. And seeing the replay, it does look like Christian Pulisic did have the last touch there, so a fortunate corner here. What can we make of it? Chances are passed us by there. Ball back in from Alonso. Interesting ball there. Jorginho just cuts out before the counter-attack can go through there really well. He's looked really good since he's come on, Jorginho. Just a bit of stoppage in play here for an injury maybe to Pau Torres. And there's actually a couple of Villareal players down now. Looks like Cesar Azpilicueta is going to be coming on. Maybe just get a bit of control back. He also does like a gallop forward when he gets the chance as well. Interesting substitution. I would have thought that maybe Tuchel would have changed up the formation. Brought on another attacker. And that'll end Callum's day. Obviously, he wants Aspi to get forward. He can be effective when he bombs forward, and very unselfish player. Could set up a goal. Jorginho's ball over the top. Doesn't quite find its way to Marcus Alonso there. Yeah, Havertz is dispossessed there in a good position. But Chelsea have a throw. So starting to mount a bit of attacking pressure here and just kind of pinning Villareal back into their final third. Jeremy for Villareal has stayed down here, but is told to hurry up by the ref. Looks like nothing when you see the replay. Jorginho on the ball, searching for an option. Chalobah gets it to Azpilicueta. Like here's Pulisic. Nice, makes space for Azpilicueta. His first cross comes in, and it'll be a corner. Alonso to take the corner again from here on the right hand side. Azpilicueta in the mix. You do like to see that. What? Chance forces Jorginho hits on the volley. Just not quite the right spot. And Alonso gets his head on it on the rebound. And the goalkeeper saves. Really unfortunate for Jorginho because he makes decent connection by the looks of things here. But just a block. But they're calling for handball here. Let's have a look at the replay. No, not for me. On the shoulder there. It's a good chance. And Villareal bringing on 2 more players here. So, bring some fresh legs. They've probably seen that the tide has turned since they scored. They want to keep that intensity up. And Moreno is taking all the time in the world to come off the field, as he's probably entitled to do. Morlanes will be replacing Alberto Moreno. And Dia will be coming off for Raba. And Dia was obviously the player who got that clever back heel that got Villareal back into the game. So he's played his part. It is interesting how the game has really turned since Ziyech came off injured. What a different game it looked like at that point, where Chelsea had all the possession, all the chances, and were a goal to the good. Now, are stuck at a deadlock with 5 minutes to go. So will we be forced to extra time, or will Chelsea be able to forge a goal here? Or Villareal? Just as likely an option, I would say. Possession here from Chelsea now. Ready to go with a searching ball for Alonso. Not quite got the pace on it to beat the defender. Yeah, from Shalaba. Interesting run. He's want to throw in right near the corner flag. Trophy on the line here. 2 minutes in regular time to go. Nerve-wracking few minutes here for Villareal fans, I imagine. As Chelsea are just going to throw everything forward. But they've looked defensively strong. And here's a chance for Pulisic. But it might have been offside anyway. Yeah, it was. Yeah, Pulisic and Havertz were well offside there. Just the deflection fell to their feet. Thrown here. Quick restart. Oh, poor touch there from Pulisic. It's Mount. Poor touch from Mount there. Maybe the signs of pre-season just getting up and going for the young England international. Kind of a unique back pass there from Stupinan for Villareal, and Kai Havertz brought the ball down lovely, but Jorginho has lost it here, and Villareal can come again. This can't be stopped at the moment, and Alonso's given away a free kick. I probably will ensure that they have the last chance of the half, but they've taken it quickly. Chance here, cutback. Oh, there was a real chance there for Villareal, but they just couldn't get the men in the right position there. So 4 minutes of extra time, of added stoppage time, that is. So 1-1, probably a fair result by the looks of things. In terms of the full 90 minutes, Chelsea had the better of the first half, Villareal better of the second half. Both scored a goal in their respective halves. Unless Villareal can do something here. Looks like we will be going to extra time. Mendy collects the cross here. And is there maybe a chance for one more chance for Chelsea with 2.5 minutes remaining? Yeah, Chelsea have broken forward a little bit here. Here's Pulisic on a streaming run, just like his run against Real Madrid, but the shot is blocked. You'd imagine that would probably be the last significant chance of the 90 minutes. It did open up for Pulisic at one point, but he decided not to take on the shot. And then the shot actually struck Marcos Alonso, who was in an offside position. About 45 seconds to go here of the 90. Chelsea in possession, but not in a dangerous area. Just kind of slowing things down a bit. No real intensity to the play. And that is displayed by a skewed pass there from Jorginho. Kovacic picks it up though, and here is the through ball here for Alonso. Really nice ball. And Alonso, hits the side netting there. That would be the Marcos Alonso special. He is excellent at kind of those last minute victories. I remember one against Tottenham. He strikes the ball really well, Alonso. I've joked a few times that he probably should have been a striker. But that is the end of the 90 minutes. It remains 1-1. Disappointing second half. I think it has to be said there from Chelsea. I know it's pre-season, but can't help but feel like the chances kind of mostly fell to Villareal, and they looked really energised in that second half. So we've got no one to blame but ourselves, really. Everyone's kind of gearing up now for 2 sets of extra time. Makes you wonder, in a pre-season cup like this, why they don't just go straight to penalties, because the risk of injury kind of I was just saying, makes you wonder why they don't go straight to penalties in a situation like this in a pre-season kind of final, because the risk of an injury to any of these players at any point is really really high, you'd imagine, specifically because they haven't had the chances to really get their bodies ready for 90 minutes of football, let alone 120 for some of these guys. So, but it is what it is. Yeah, you can see a lot of the Villareal players getting some stretches here, and that'll just be standard, I guess, when you're forced to play 120 minutes for your first competitive game of the season. Might see some substitutions again, coming on soon, I'd imagine, because yeah, there's a lot of players here down with what looks to be cramp, just keeping their muscles warm. Thomas Tuchel's actually walked onto the pitch here to instruct his team, who've already taken up their positions. Villareal players taking a little bit more time to get ready. Well, Gerard Moreno gets the last pat down from the physio and get him ready to go. His goal, what sent us to extra time. Tuchel is locked in conversation here with Anthony Barry. They've got to be talking about, I guess, how they can kind of forge chances, because we've managed to get possession back in the last 15 minutes after the goal, but chances have been hard to come by, especially clear-cut chances. Sort of half chances is what we've been stuck to at the moment. But they'll probably also be questioning why Chelsea let it get so out of hand. It took maybe 40 minutes of dominance from Villareal in possession for Chelsea to wake up, and it took the goal actually being scored for Chelsea to kind of switch it on. There is a substitution here from Villareal before we get underway. Asa Mandy coming on for Jeremy. And looks like we're underway now for the start of extra time. 15 minutes and a half, as always. Good cutout there from Kovacic. Straight away you can see the intensity is lifted slightly for Chelsea. A lot of players closing down. Mendy collects the ball from across. And now Chelsea can get their first taste of possession. Great to see Trevor Chalobah has remained on during the game. Be really, really good for his development to get a full 120 here. Right, he's already got a full 90, so really, he's played the entirety of a match. Which is something a lot of people can say when you're a Chelsea player. A quick little attempt at catching Mendy off his line there by the Villareal player. Didn't quite work out. Andreas Christensen on the ball. Christensen, who came on as a substitute for Thiago Silva in the Champions League final, has come on as a substitute today for Kurt Zouma. Really interesting season coming up for him. See if he can displace Thiago Silva by the end of the season. He's kind of looked more and more like a Chelsea level player in the last year, I would say. He's always shown great ability, but the physique maybe was lacking in previous seasons, but he looks like he has kind of bulked up and doesn't look so much like a boy now. Looks more like a man. Chelsea had the first corner of the first half of extra time. Alonso to take. Cross comes in. It's a deep one. Almost comes to Havertz, and there's Jorginho. But Villareal has got possession back. Interesting, no changes from Thomas Tuchel. Good through ball here for Spilicueta. And looks like there'll be a corner. Yeah, Mount has earned a corner for Chelsea. Corner did not go according to plan. Just like that, 5 minutes of extra time has sort of slipped away. Been a bit of a frustrating game, to be honest. Really felt like we had it in our hands in that first half. That Ziyech injury really changed the course of things. Looks like a lot of reactionary takes from Chelsea Twitter. Who could have guessed that? Easy to forget that this is essentially still a pre-season game when there is a trophy on the line. So a lot of these players will still be getting back to full fitness, and a lot of them haven't played together in a while. And it'll be interesting to see how different our team looks with a focal point like Romelu Lukaku up front in a few weeks. Hopefully by the Crystal Palace game, but seemingly unlikely at this point unless he signs literally today or tomorrow. Yeah, this extra time probably isn't great for the Palace game either. Just meaning our players will have a little more time under the belts, I guess, for pre-season from a positive point of view, but on a negative point of view, we'll be a lot more tired. Which would be exactly what Palace want. Good cutback here. Here's Kai. Pulisic. Oh, he's just missed the target there. Really, there's a chance out of nothing. Ball gets played through there from Mount. He touches on to Kai, and then Pulisic just gets the run on, and he just what is he? He tries to get that inside curve, but he hits it dead on, straight in the middle of the ball. You can see his frustration there. He takes it out on the net. Similar to his chance in the Champions League final where he drew it similarly wide as well. Decent little chance there. I think Pulisic knows he can do better from those situations. Doesn't need to go with the outside of his foot there. I think that he can just finesse that one home. Space now is opening up though for Chelsea as there's another chance here. Not quick enough to disperse the ball there, Pulisic, and gets caught in possession. Disappointing few minutes for him. Does well to get the ball out of the corner though there, Pulisic. Him and Azpilicueta combining well. But offside. So, 5 minutes to go in the first half of extra time here. It's taken the first 10 minutes really for a chance to arise. You can see the likes of Reece James, Emerson and Tammy Abraham warming up. Potentially a sign of things to come. I believe Tammy Abraham missed the crucial penalty in the last Super Cup we played against Liverpool. Romelu Lukaku-esque. Who missed his penalty against Bayern. Yes, decent chances starting to get forced. Brought down in the penalty box, but nothing given. No, the referee shakes his head. Azpilicueta is screaming that his shirt was being held. Wait to see a replay here. See what VAR thinks. Looks like he's offside in any chance. Nah, it doesn't look like there's anything in it. this extra time has lacked a little bit of intensity from Villareal's side. They seem like they're happy to kind of sit back and soak up the pressure at the moment. Maybe holding out for penalties. I do love a penalty shootout, but less so when my team is involved. Chanel with the first time ball there. Kai Havertz can't get there before really. One minute to go in this first section of extra time. And that will be the halftime point of the extra time. So 15 minutes before we are forced into a penalty shootout if nobody can break the deadlock. Wow, could be looking at a penalty shootout for the first game of the season. I love that. Puts them to the test. There's been a bit of a question mark about who our first choice penalty takers should be this season, so it could be a good opportunity to have a look at people. Even better if Lukaku was already in the club, because then we could have put him to the test as well, but not to be. Tuchel is very animated here though, not wanting it to go to penalties. Will clearly be wanting to win the game in extra time. Emery, similarly aggressive. His players huddled around. It's been a real battle so far. Players taking their place on the field again. Almost ready to commence the second half of extra time. And here we go. Spilicueta trying to forge across. His chance, Chelsea in possession to start off the second half of extra time. Jorginho to Spilicueta again. Mount. It's Pulisic. Spilicueta puts in a cross, but it looks too high. Yeah, just a bit too much height on that one. Just invited the goalkeeper to come and claim it. Bit of a slip there from Marcos Alonso. Grants a chance here for Villareal. But good block from Rudiger there. Really good work to kind of help out his teammate who had really put the team in a pickle there. Marcos Alonso. And he can be a bit of a liability at times. I like what he brings to the team in an attacking sense, but he is a troublemaker at times. Whoop, chance has fallen here. Oh, chance fell for Mount, but it sounds like Asensio might have saved that. Let's have a look again. So Pulisic runs through. Bit of a mistake by the defender. And yeah, the snapshot from Mount was heading for the top corner, but Asensio just got a hand on it. Very, very good goalkeeping there. Now, understandably frustrated by that. But Chelsea have a corner as a result. Alonso to take. Good corner there. And the chance falls, but just swept away. Probably the best corner we've seen of the game so far there from Alonso. The set pieces have been kind of average, I have to say. I've rarely gone into a good position. That one did, but just nobody was able to put a head on to that one. Alonso streaming forward there again. They've found him. Spilicueta now. Chalobah. Mount's able to turn. Just runs himself into a bit of trouble there, Mount. Maybe trying to do a bit too much. Well, we know from the Europa League final that Villareal have got an abundance of decent penalty takers. Notoriously, all 11 of their players scored their penalties in that Europa League final, and it took till David De Gea to miss the crucial penalty for Manchester United. So we could be in for a bit of a long shootout. And hopefully the Chelsea players are ready for it. About 4.5 minutes to go of extra time before penalties becomes a reality. So there's still time for a chance or two. Good defence there from Villareal, looking like they have a bit of a back six going on at the moment. chip ball in there, headed out. Good defending again from Villareal. Chelsea have taken hold of both sets of extra time, really. Taking back possession, it looks like Villareal is comfortable to not force the issue and to hold out for penalties, probably knowing that is their best chance at taking the lead. Here's a chance for Alonso. Kovacic has a shot, but he's blocked. Good ball. Oh, just a little actually overhit from Kovacic there, and he knows that he shakes his head in frustration. 3 minutes remaining. Oh, good win of the ball here. Just can't keep hold of it as the pressure was mounting there. But Chelsea had the ball back here. Here's Pulisic, runs past his man. Crafts it open to Kovacic here. Wide to Alonso, who wants to take the shot on himself, but on his unfavoured right foot, it always seems unlikely. Bit of a waste of effort, but it has to be said, it did open up for him to have the shot, but just on the weaker side. Better option there is to try and find a teammate, I think. I don't think I've ever seen Marcus Alonso take a penalty, but you'd have to imagine that he'd be pretty good at it, considering the quality of the strike, of the way that he hits the ball usually, and the technique and the way in which he strikes the ball. Be interesting to see who the penalty takers would be. Probably for me, Jorginho, Mount, Timo Werner, Kai Havertz, and yeah, maybe you do call upon an Alonso or a Pulisic, and Azpilicueta, obviously. We've seen him take penalties in matches before, especially in a shootout. Remember a fairly good penalty in the Carabao Cup final a few years back against Manchester City. Minute to go. Will there be a winner? Cross comes in from Azpilicueta, but it finds its way all the way to the goalkeeper. So, looks like we are strapping in for penalties by the looks of things. Last few seconds here. Will there be one last chance? Out wide to Azpilicueta. Finds Mount here. Cross is deflected. Pushed out for a corner. But penalties it is. Well, okay. Actually, I'm an idiot. There's still 5 minutes left. Why on earth did I think it was 1:15? Looks like Kepa Arrizabalaga is warming up. Will he be the choice for the penalty keeper? He's got little arms. Kepa has for the closer. Kepa Arrizabalaga. Wow, it almost wasn't penalties at all because it was a free kick for Villareal and Mendy had to make a really sharp save. But it was called offside, so. Yep, Kepa Arrizabalaga has got his gloves on, signifying that he will be the penalty shot stopper. He has made saves in penalty shootouts before. Got to give him some credit. He made that great save in the Frankfurt shootout a few years back in the semi-final before the Arsenal Europa League final game. Ooh, interception there from Azpilicueta, but just their touch was a little heavy. Would have had a chance on goal. Really good interception there. Yeah, Chelsea comes storming forward. Free kick is given away by Villareal very smartly and rewarded with a yellow card there. Chelsea got a free kick here about 30 yards from goal. Probably just out of shooting range. Annoyingly. And Azpilicueta, Arrizabalaga will come on now. For Mendy. He's had a good game in the end, actually. He had that early slip, which made us wonder, but he had some really few good saves in the game, and great to see him get those pre-season minutes under the belt. Mount stands over the free kick. Less than a minute to go. What can Chelsea conjure? He goes wide left. And unfortunately, his kick is stopped. But great interception from Kovacic there. Keeps it in as well. Very nice. This really would be the last chance now. 20 seconds to go. Here's Mounts and Havertz and Azpilicueta combining. Azpilicueta puts in a cross. Alonso tries to get head to the ball. It's Pulisic actually. He doesn't manage it. So it will be penalties. Would have been funny if Edouard Mendy had refused to come off as a little throwback to when Kepa Arrizabalaga refused to come off notoriously in that Carabao Cup final against Manchester City. much to the chagrin of Mauricio Sarri and the unlucky Willy Caballero, who rightfully should have had his chance in that game to be a hero. He already was the hero in another Carabao Cup final. And the referee has blown his whistle. And the penalties will begin momentarily. So a penalty shootout will decide the winner of the 2021 UEFA Super Cup between Chelsea and Villareal. Fairly scrappy game in the end, with 2 goals of quite good quality. Azpilicueta stands next to Thomas Tuchel here, seeming like he will take a penalty. Got the pen and paper out, writing down the names. Reza Balaga is getting some advice here from his goalkeeping staff and from Hakim Ziyech, who it's nice to see has returned to the field. Just to G up his teammates. Probably would be taking a penalty himself, you'd imagine, if it was on the pitch still. Now, the question will be, has Asensio been watching the Jorginho penalty? Because while he's been fairly successful with it over his time at Chelsea and with the Italian national side, I personally believe that's a little predictable, specifically if you do it every single time. So, we'll have to see. Nerves going to penalty shootout every single time. You've left it into the hands of the football gods now. Thomas Tuchel, very precise. The Chelsea player is the last to enter the centre circle. Villareal already having lined up. Will we be kicking in front of the Chelsea fans or the Villareal fans? Let's find out. We'll be kicking in front of the Villareal fans. Great. Oh, they're doing it. Looks like Chelsea will be going first in the penalty shootout, which I do usually like. Kai Havertz to go first. Now, he was a really good penalty taker in Germany for Bayer Leverkusen. He was their penalty taker there. Yet to have a chance from the spot for Chelsea. So, let's see what he can bring. He's got great technique when he strikes the ball. He's also a powerful kick. I back him. Famous last words. First penalty kick sets the tone for the shootout. Always looks a little scary with a left footer running up. He's missed the first penalty, Kai Havertz. Yeah, it always looks a little strange with a left footer running up. Unfortunate start here for Chelsea. Villareal. Got to say it's a bit of an average penalty there from Kai. It's right where the goalkeeper wants it, right in the middle of the goal. Gerard Moreno stepping up for Villareal. Ken Kepa bring us into the game back. It's gone on and off the post. Wow. Sends Kepa the wrong way. Great start to the shootout for Villareal. Are we going to lose another Super Cup on penalties? Cesar Azpilicueta next, the captain. That trademark stamping back run-up. He scores. Yes. Good penalty from Aspi there. Low and hard to the keeper's left. Keeper doesn't have the time to get it all the way across. For the second penalty taker for Villareal. This is an important penalty now. We can bring it back level. And Kepa saved it. Yes, great save from Kepa there. That was low to the keeper's right, and it just it was a decent penalty from first look. And Kepa just goes strong with two hands. He waits. He waits for him to make the run up, and Mandy just he just can't get it far enough into the corner. But I don't think it would have mattered because I think Kepa had it covered anyway. So back on level terms now. This is a good one. Okay, here's Marcos Alonso. I predicted that he might take a penalty. Great strike of the ball, but another left footer, which just scares me when they walk up to take penalties. Don't know what it is. There's no reason why they should miss any more than a right-sided player, but it does just scare me. Strike through the ball, Alonso. He's slipped over as he's taken the penalty, but he has scored it. Wow. He went to the goalkeeper's right, and it was a good penalty. The goalkeeper went the wrong way, but the little slip, John Terry-esque, was worrying for a minute. Great. So now there's a slight advantage here for Chelsea. If Kepa can go into this with some confidence, knowing that if he saves it, he can give us the lead. Pressure is on here. Stupinan. Little studded run up. And he scores. Waited for Kepa to make his move. And just rolled it down the middle. So, 2 apiece after 3 penalties each. Mason Mount is next up. First game back from pre-season. And he rolls it. Very nice. Very similar to a Stupinen's penalty, except the other way around. Just rolls it across the ground and sends Asensio the wrong way. That's 3 good penalties in a row there from Chelsea. Now, Villareal have to catch up. This is what I like about going first, is if you score your penalty, the other team is constantly in the mindset where they have to come back. The referee just correcting the ball position here. Oh, Kepa got a hand to that one, but he couldn't keep it out, unfortunately. So, 3 apiece. Cut to a reaction shot of Petr Cech in the crowd there. What he wouldn't do to be the Chelsea goalkeeper right now. Jorginho with the 5th penalty. Usually the Chelsea set penalty taker at the club. He has that trademark run-up. He missed the 5th penalty though for Italy in the Euro final. So, and he does the trademark. He jumps, a hop, a skip and a jump and a roll down the middle. Very good penalty, very composed. No matter how much it scares me when he takes it. And then a little shush to the crowd as well. Ooh, I like that. Now, the crucial penalty. Can Kepa save it and win the game? Wow, I would love that because, Kepa's had a really hard time of late. And it's Pau Torres who's stepping up to take it. Oh no, it's not Pau Torres. Could Kepa be the hero here for Chelsea? Unfortunately not in this case. He's scored. So Rabah has scored, which makes it 4 each after 5 each. So we're into the sudden death phase of penalties now. I told you this could go the long distance just like the United penalty shootout. So now you start getting into your penalty takers that you don't quite trust as much. Christian Pulisic is up. Took a really nice penalty for the United States in the Gold Cup final. Here he is. Great penalty from Pulisic. Really composed finish there. Really like that. And again, the pressure is straight back on Villareal now. That's what I love about going first in the penalty shootout. And now it will be Pau Torres. No, Jan Foyth this time, not Pau Torres. Jan Foyth scores. The ex-Tottenham player scores against Chelsea in the shootout. Kepa's gone the wrong way on the last 3 penalties. It's a 50-50 guessing game, and as a goalkeeper, you gotta take that pressure off your strikers. Antonio Rudiger is up next. Wow, not someone you usually expect to see taking a penalty. You know, he's got a powerful strike, but does he have an accurate one? He does in this case. A bit of a strange run up there, only a few steps back, and he just kind of worked his way up and curled it into the goalkeeper's right hand side. It's great though. Pressure right back on Villareal. Some good penalties here on display. Raul Abadal. Not a player who is notorious with penalties either. Commanding centre back. And Kepa saved it, and Chelsea have won the UEFA Super Cup, and Kepa is the hero. Abadal went down low to Kepa's right hand side, and he just dived like he has consistently been going down that goalkeeping right hand side, and Chelsea have won the UEFA Super Cup. And that's an awesome moment for Kepa because he's had such a hard time at Chelsea in the last year, and just to see him have that little moment to win the cup, that's awesome. And that's a smart change there from Tuchel, has put him in there, probably knowing that he might have the chance there to increase his confidence, and it's paid off great for Tuchel. That's excellent, and it's great for Kai Havertz not to be on the losing side of that as well. That's awesome. That's great. So Chelsea have won the Super Cup in circumstances that weren't ideal, has to be said. If you look at the whole game as a 120 minutes of football, it has to be said that it wasn't the best performance from Chelsea. But in these sort of finals, all that matters is that you get over the line, and we've done it emphatically here. In the penalty shootout. Excellent scenes here, just seeing the players celebrating, and Kepa Arrizabalaga sucking up the adulation. Thomas Tuchel going around to his penalty takers, congratulating them. And it's a good feeling to win this competition at long last, especially on penalties, because it's teased us for many years, and the name is being etched onto the trophy now, and that's great to see. All right, well, I think I'm going to head off, and I'll leave everyone to enjoy the trophy celebrations. This is it's been a great way to start the first ever stream. It's been a long stream for the first ever one. Thanks for anyone who has tuned in along the way. I can see that I've actually got some viewers, surprisingly, on my first ever stream. So thank you. It's been an interesting night. It's been a good night for Chelsea in the end, and I look forward to seeing everyone in my streams to come. If anyone is sticking around at this point, I will be doing a stream of my season preview for the upcoming Premier League season tomorrow night. So I look forward to seeing anyone there that joins in. And until next time, thanks for watching Football Heritage. Go Chelsea.